Come along and listen to the tales of Beatrix Potter. They'll charm you with the way they tell of young sons and fine daughters. There's Peter Rabbit, Jeremy Fisher, and others that we love. Oh yes, Jemima Puddle Duck, she flies the skies above. So come along and sing the songs that tell the happy deeds of Benjamin Bunny Squirrel Nutkin, he lives in a tree. Others we will tell about are sometimes shy, you see. Mrs. Tiggy Winkle likes to hide behind my knee. Mr. Johnny Town Mouse is another friend of ours. He and Timmy Willie visit for some hours. They play and run and eat some cake, go to sleep and then awake. So come along and listen to the tales of Beatrix Potter. They'll charm you with the tales they tell of good sons and fine daughters.
Once upon a time, there were 4 little rabbits, and their names were Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Peter. They lived with their mother in a sandbank underneath the root of a very big fir tree. They were very happy and all worked and played together.
We're together, yes we are, and we don't travel far from our tree in the wood. Our life here is good. There's Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Peter, that's me. And our mother, Mrs. Rabbit, there's none to us sweeter.
I sew for them and care for them and teach them all their manners and how to greet each one they meet as Mrs. Madams and yes, sir.
We're together, yes we are, and we don't travel far from our tree in the wood. Our life here is good. There's Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Peter. And our mother, Mrs. Rabbit, there's none to us sweeter.
The children, they stay close to home except for Peter. Likes to roam, he scampers and he runs around in trouble where he's mostly found.
We're together, yes we are, and we don't travel far from our tree in the wood. Our life here is good.
Now, my dears, you may go into the fields or down the lane, but don't go into Mr. Mcgregor's garden. Your father had an accident there. He was put into a pie by Mrs. Mcgregor. Now, run along and don't get into mischief. I am going out.
Old Mrs. Rabbit took a basket and her umbrella and went through the wood to the baker's. She bought a loaf of brown bread and 5 currant buns. Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail, who were good little bunnies, went down the lane to gather blackberries. But Peter, who was very naughty, ran straight away to Mr. Mcgregor's garden and squeezed under the gate.
This is a tight squeeze. Oh, I'm through. Oh, look at all those lettuces. And the French beans. I love Mcgregor's garden, such lovely things to eat. Cabbages and lettuce leaves all make a tasty treat. It doesn't matter if it's forbidden from Mr. Mcgregor. I'll stay hidden underneath my favorite tree. Munching away is where I will be. Carrots! Oh, and there's some radishes. Oh my, I think I've eaten too much. I'd better find some parsley.
Feeling rather sick, Peter went to look for some parsley. But round the end of the cucumber frame, whom should he meet but Mr. Mcgregor? Mr. Mcgregor was on his hands and knees, planting out young cabbages. Suddenly, he looked up and saw Peter.
Aha! A rabbit! He's been stealing my lettuces and no telling what else. Stop! Thief!
Mr. Mcgregor jumped up and started chasing Peter, all the while waving a rake. Peter was most dreadfully frightened. He rushed all over the garden, for he had forgotten the way back to the gate. He lost one of his shoes among the cabbages and the other shoe amongst the potatoes.
Oh no! He's going to catch me!
Stop! Thief! He's stolen my carrots!
Help! He's going to catch me! Oh, I'll be rabbit pie! No, I'm winning! I'm going to get away! Oh!
Peter had run into a gooseberry net and had gotten caught by the large brass buttons on his new blue jacket.
Oh dear, I'm done for now. This is the end of Peter Rabbit. I'll be rabbit pie. I hope I give him hiccups. Oh, my friend the sparrows. What? Oh, well, it's very well for you to say exert yourself. You're not the ones caught up in this gooseberry net.
Mr. Mcgregor came up with a sieve, which he intended to pop upon the top of Peter. But Peter wriggled out just in time, leaving his jacket behind him.
Finally, I'm free!
Peter rushed away from the net and clambered into the tool shed. He saw a watering can and jumped straight into it.
Oh dear! Oh, this would have been a beautiful thing to hide in if it had not had so much water in it. Oh no! Here comes Mr. McGregor!
I'll get you, you won't get away. You've eaten quite enough of mine on this summer's day. You've taken all my vegetables, left nothing for my table. I'm going to get you right away, I know that I am able. I'll get you, you won't get away. You've eaten quite enough of mine on this summer's day. I know he's here somewhere. He's behind that broom. No? I know, behind that sack of marigold seed. No? Ha! He's under one of those flower pots. No? 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 Aha! There you are! Come here!
Mr. Mcgregor was after him in no time. He tried to put his foot upon Peter, who jumped out of a window, upsetting 3 plants. The window was too small for Mr. Mcgregor, and he was tired of running after Peter. So he went back to work. Peter sat down to rest. He was out of breath and trembling with fright, and he had not the least idea which way to go. Also, he was very damp with sitting in that watering can.
Oh dear, I do get into some scrapes, don't I? I can't help myself, oh dear, can you? There's too many forbidden things to do. I'd be good if I could, but I can't. It's not me. You're told that you can't, you'll get caught by the seat of your pants. In Mom you must trust, she says some things are just too dangerous. But I like to play in the sunshine all the day and not listen to the older folks. I'd rather tell lots of jokes. I can't help myself at times, only trouble is what I find when I do what my heart says and don't listen to my mind. I can't help myself, I don't know why. Is it written in the sky to be good? I'd be good if I could, but I can't. It's not me.
After a time, he began to wander about, going lippity-lippity, not very fast, and looking all round. He found a door in a wall, but it was locked, and there was no room for a fat little rabbit to squeeze underneath. Peter saw an old mouse running in and out over the stone doorstep, carrying peas and beans to her family in the wood.
Excuse me, Mrs. Mouse. Can you tell me the way to the gate? I'd like to get out of here. It isn't very polite to talk with a pea in your mouth.
Peter was very upset because he couldn't understand the mouse. He began to cry.
Come back. Oh dear, she's gone. I'm lost. I'll try this way, straight across the garden.
Presently, he came to a pond where Mr. Mcgregor filled his water cans. A white cat was staring at some goldfish. She sat very, very still, but now and then the tip of her tail twitched as if it were alive.
I don't think I'll talk to her. I've heard all about cats from my cousin, Benjamin Bunny. Oh no, a cat, my least favorite friend. No bunny likes a cat, on that you can depend. They creep, they crawl, they act so cunning. They set my little heart fast a-running. A furry cat is no pal of mine, because on me he waits to dine. I tiptoe by so he can't see, and try to make a meal of me. Oh no, a cat, they like to purr. I get the chills, brr, and they give me shivers as if it's cold. Around a feline I'm not so bold. Oh no, a cat, my least favorite friend. No bunny likes a cat, on that you can depend. They creep, they crawl, they act so cunning. They set my little heart fast a-running.
Peter started towards the tool shed, but suddenly, quite close to him, he heard the noise of a hoe. Scritch, scratch, scratch, scritch. Peter scuttered underneath the bushes. But presently, as nothing happened, he came out and, climbing on a wheelbarrow, looked around. The first thing he saw was Mr. Mcgregor hoeing onions. His back was turned towards Peter, and beyond him was the gate. Peter got down very quietly off the wheelbarrow and started running as fast as he could go along a straight walk behind some black currant bushes.
Ah, there's that rabbit again. Come back! Come back!
Sorry, Mr. Mcgregor, I can't stop just now.
Peter ran as fast as he could and slipped underneath the gate and was safe at last in the wood outside the garden. Mr. Mcgregor, finding the things Peter left behind, hung up the little jacket and the shoes as a scarecrow to frighten away the blackbirds. Peter never stopped running or looked behind him till he got home to the big fir tree. He was so tired that he flopped down upon the nice soft sand on the floor of the rabbit hole and shut his eyes. His mother looked up from her cooking.
Peter Rabbit, where have you been?
Who, me? Nowhere.
Dear me, what a state you're in. And where are your clothes? That's the second little jacket and pair of shoes you've lost in a fortnight.
Mommy, I'm not feeling very well.
I'm not a bit surprised. Come along, off to bed you go. I'll make you some chamomile tea. 1 tablespoon to be taken at bedtime.
Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail had bread and milk and blackberries for supper. But Peter Rabbit was sent to bed.
I can't help myself, oh dear, can you? There's too many forbidden things to do. I'd be good if I could, but I can't. It's not me. You're told that you can't, you'll get caught by the seat of your pants. In Mom you must trust, she says some things are just too dangerous. But I like to play in the sunshine all the day and not listen to the older folks. I'd rather tell lots of jokes. I can't help myself at times. Only trouble is what I find when I do what my heart says and don't listen to my mind. I can't help myself, I don't know why. Is it written in the sky to be good? I'd be good if I could, but I can't. It's not me.